All right, full disclosure, I was already working on a video and then Nintendo announced their Direct and then they had their Direct and there's not a lot of stuff that's in that Direct to warrant a full video, but I'm going to be talking about a lot of that stuff that they announced in that Direct in this video anyway, so I'm going ahead with the video anyway. I mean, you're going to want to occupy yourself in the meantime till these games come out, right? Most games are $60. That's pretty standard across the board. The value that you get out of them is variable. I've spent 4 hours on a game and felt totally content. I've spent 20 hours beating a game and I felt like I had to drag my way through it the whole time. There are some games that I play for, say, 460 hours and feel like I need more for some sick reason. Today, I want to talk about all of the Nintendo Switch games that are seemingly endless. Games that players lose themselves in. Games that are potentially dangerous. Games that will get your family to start worrying about you. But at least you're getting more bang for your buck, right? This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Let's see what's on the agenda for today. Did that. Let's see. Yeah, I'm almost done with that. Yes. I think I need somebody smarter than me to figure out what's wrong with all this. Nah, it's probably fine. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people, with courses ranging from graphic design, animation, creative writing, marketing, music, photography, and even productivity. Like, for example, Productivity for Creatives, building a system that brings out your best with Thomas Frank. There are no ads and they're always launching new courses, so there's always something fresh to keep you interested. And it's less than $10 a month for an annual subscription, but you can just try it for yourself and see how you like it. Right now, the first 1,000 of you who click the link in the description below will receive a free trial to Skillshare's premium membership, so you can explore your creativity. Go ahead and start learning, or start, I don't know, bettering yourself? I should go to sleep. Nope, I should make more coffee. I love the website howlongtobeat.com. It's a great resource if you're interested in a game, but not entirely sure if you have the time to commit to beating it. It's not always accurate, but it does do a pretty good job of telling you around how long it would take to beat a game if you're just doing the main story, if you're doing the main plus extra, which is usually how most of us play our games, and there's completionist. If you sort by main plus extra on the Nintendo Switch and you go all the way to the end, the longest game is Farm Together. You know, Farm Together. Remember Farm Together? I'd be willing to bet that it's because almost nobody submitted time for this thing. But I feel bad for the ones that did. Either these people were so desperate for an Animal Crossing type game that they settled for this, or they don't even know that Animal Crossing exists. But it has a 7.6 user score on Metacritic. What the f? For real though, these are the types of games that we're talking about. Games that you could just spend an endless amount of hours on and just melt away. Games like Animal Crossing New Horizons and Stardew Valley. Animal Crossing is a game I probably never would have purchased if making Nintendo-based content wasn't my job, and I certainly never expected to sink 70 hours into the game, a game that I didn't really think I was that into. 70 hours is a lot to throw at one game, but that's baby numbers compared to the thousands of hours that lots of people have sunk into Animal Crossing since launch. For me personally, my end goal was to create my little city. I built the roads and I felt like my time was done. But for many others, it's about collecting everything, finding new residents, keeping up with the updates that release every few months. There's seasonal updates, and most recently it was announced we were getting Mario 35th anniversary items. A little late to the party, but that's okay, we'll take it. Animal Crossing is a living, breathing world that always has something that could hook you. Or it might not, and you might just spend a measly 70 hours on it like me. Wish the Mario stuff was in it while I was playing it. You're not gonna hook me again, Animal Crossing! Part of the problem with these time sync games is that it's hit or miss. Either the game is gonna slap its shackles on you and hook you in, or you're gonna spend a few hours on it and then you're just gonna be done with it. None of the games on this list are guaranteed to hook you, but I'd be willing to bet that at least one of the games on this list would. Stardew Valley is very similar to Animal Crossing in the way that it hooks people, except that there's 12 potential candidates for marriage. So there's a dating sim aspect. And naturally, on top of building your farm, players want to see what it's like to date them all. And as you can imagine, this can take a lot of time. So similar to Animal Crossing, players spend endless hours building their town and building their relationships. Unlike Animal Crossing, this game's only $15. But neither of these games are games that would sink their claws into me. I need fast-paced action. I need immediate gratification. I need something that I feel like I'm getting better at. Something that I could win. Something that makes me want to put my controller through the wall sometimes. I'm talking, of course, about my two most played Switch games, Super Mario Maker 2 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Mario Maker should be no surprise to any of you if you've watched this channel before, but you might be surprised to learn that my most played game on the Switch is actually Super Smash Bros. Ultimate by like a wide margin. 460 hours might not be a lot to you. There's plenty of people who have way more hours than that, but that is a lot for me to be investing in a game. And then people still comment, actually, that's not a lot of hours. Like, okay, dude, like this is some sort of competition. You're over there with your 1,000 hours still losing to this guy. How does that feel? These days, Smash really just pulls me back in whenever there's a DLC fighter like Pyra, who was just announced yesterday. Playing as or even just against the new character is a great way to make the game feel fresh and updated, which is great because I'd pretty much stick to Captain Falcon no matter what. I mean, I liked Byleth and I think Pyra looks kind of cool too. I'll dabble with her for a little bit. But Smash Brothers is also one of my go-to games to play with friends, so it's the only game where I'll just randomly hop in people's arenas if I see them streaming it or something. This is a good time to mention we have a Discord channel, and that Discord channel does community games every once in a while in the open chat, and they mostly play, guess what? Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And I've been known to jump in on the rare occasion, but it's mostly community driven. I rarely ever play games recreationally anymore, which is the sad truth that comes with a job like this. But in the rare occasion that I do have time when something's rendering or I'm waiting for something to download, I can jump into quick play real quick. It makes me feel like I'm exercising my Smash muscle in the rare event that I'm like out on the street and someone challenges me to a game of Smash, which did happen to me once at a Moe's. It was when the game first came out. And these high school kids absolutely destroyed me. I was playing as Sonic with a sideways Joy-Con. What do you want from me? I'm aware that not everybody is going to have the same experience that I've had with Super Mario Maker 2. But that is my second most played game on the Switch. I like to pitch it as just an endless 2D Mario. I think Nintendo does a bad job of selling this game as Mario, but you build the levels. I've only ever built one level. It's called You Killed My Son. Here's the code for it. Have fun. I spend almost all of my time playing other people's levels. It's a little different than other 2D Mario games in that things get real wacky with their creations. So you'll see things here that never would have happened in mainline Mario games. But that's part of the charm of it for me. I love the multiplayer, even though the connection is abysmal. They've done a pretty decent job updating it, which also kept it fresh. We got a Link power-up, we got the Super Mario 2 power-up, and these fundamentally changed the way people designed certain levels. There are whole levels designed around these power-ups. There's also the addition of super worlds. I'm currently trying to get my way through Rubber Ross's world, which is brutal. But it's like there's a whole game inside of a game. It's as if a random person released a DLC for a Nintendo game, almost 2 years after it was released. That's pretty damn cool. I'm also frequently pulled back in by the Ninja speedruns. I'm kind of addicted to getting gold in all of them. I'm not looking for world records or anything, but whenever they drop a new one, which is about once a month at this point, I have to get within the top percentile before the rankings go away. There's a lot that drags me back into this game. It's not perfect by any means, but there's a limitless amount of content that will keep you occupied for many, many hours. So if you like 2D Mario and you haven't picked up Mario Maker 2 yet, you're making a grave mistake. One of the biggest time sinks on the Switch since the Switch launched back in March of 2017 is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Not only is this a really long game, but you can spend hundreds of hours just dicking around in the massive, lively world. There's tons of stuff that the game throws at you. You'll boot it up one day thinking you're going to be doing one thing, and then all of a sudden, bam, you have to fight a Lionel. Personally, I've only ever spent 25 hours on the game, and 25 hours is a lot of time to invest into a game, but that is chump change for Breath of the Wild. I only ever beat 2 Divine Beasts. That is less than halfway through the main goal of the game. Currently, AJ is streaming Breath of the Wild over on the Fanatics 4 Twitch channel, so I decided to ask him, what the f*** are you doing back in that game again?
Breath of the Wild for me is and has always been a seemingly endless sandbox of things to see and do. So when it came time for me to decide games that I would have fun with streaming on Twitch, Breath of the Wild was an obvious go-to. Even though I already put in over 200 hours of just playing through it on my own time for fun back when it originally released. Will this game allow me to do insert random outlandish thing that any other open world action game probably would never even think to include in their game? This is all that random stuff that will fall in a Breath of the Wild life hack compilation, like holding torches makes Boy Zelda warmer, or throwing metal weapons at enemies during a lightning storm can cause them to get struck by lightning. Distracting a group of bokoblins by throwing a remote bomb into the fray and having them play soccer with it. All of these things are interactions that I discovered just by asking myself, I wonder if this would work. There's just so many systems in this game that effortlessly communicate amongst themselves that makes this grand, seamless experience that you wouldn't expect was coded by people. The second thought that crosses my mind a lot while playing Breath of the Wild that drives my progress forward can be summed up as, what the f is that? Things like discovering the 3 dragons that fly across Hyrule, seeing that glowing horse creature that's a tribute to Iwata in a far-off vista while being on top of a cliff or paragliding. Turning off the HUD elements and just letting my curiosity guide my way through this game is what got me this many hours deep into Breath of the Wild, and I think it's going to carry me through hundreds more hours if I'm being honest.
So like, that's the big time sinks that I can think of that people spend a lot of time on. At least the big Switch titles. Of all of those, the only one that wasn't a Switch exclusive was Stardew Valley. There's also Dragon Quest Builders 2, which I am only including now because Wood said he would murder my whole family if I didn't. The Switch has other notorious time sinks that aren't so synonymous with the Switch, but you could still play them on the Switch. Games like The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Minecraft, which is literally endless, Terraria. I know people who have hundreds of hours in Warframe, which is a free-to-play game. You can download it right now. And there's also Asphalt 9 Legends, which is on the How Long to Beat list all the way at the end. But I think that's only because it's free-to-play and it takes a long time to unlock everything unless you buy into it. But Asphalt also has a pretty in-depth multiplayer component, so I guess it's right up there with Warframe 2. And that's another free one you can download right now. And yes, I do have sponsored videos on both of those games, but there's no great games. I purposely tried not to include games that are just really long. Games that you can spend a really long amount of time playing, but have a definitive end. Games like Fire Emblem Three Houses. There's different storylines you can go down, but you're really just playing a long game over and over again. Octopath Traveler is a similar story. There's also the recently announced Project Triangle Strategy. Not a single person at that company had a better name than this. Xenoblade Chronicles, Dragon Quest, those are all super long games. Monster Hunter is also a long game, but there's a multiplayer aspect that might pull you back in for many, many hours. And there's also all of the different weapon classes that you can grind for. And there's a new one of that coming out too. If you want some team-based multiplayer, maybe Splatoon 2, or the recently announced Splatoon 3, which was a major shock in this last Direct. Maybe that'll hook you for many hours of online play. The Switch used to get a lot of flack for not having a very large library. Now it's getting a lot of flack for not having a lot of new releases, or for having a lot of ports from other consoles in its library. But I just listed a whole butt ton of games that you could spend your whole goddamn career on. So if you're worried that you don't have that much to play right now, maybe give one of these games a try and dump your whole life into it. And for that, I'm very sorry. Unless that game is Mario Maker 2, in which case I'm not sorry at all. Welcome to the party, bitch. What do you guys think about all of these time sync games for the Nintendo Switch? Is there any game that I left out that you've spent a lot of time on? Is there anything in this list that you have spent an absurd amount of time on? Leave it in the comments below. Add me on Twitter, anything, and all this other social media garbage. I don't know if it's just because like I'm in this bubble, but for whatever reason, it feels like the Nintendo Switch has a lot of people just like sinking all of their time into it. Maybe it's because of the convenient form factor. It's just easy to pick up and play. But it seems like there's more people stuck playing games in this than most other consoles throughout the years. Except PC games. PC games, I mean, people just live on a PC all the time. Anyway, we got new videos here all the time. We got videos on the podcast channel. I just posted a reaction of the Nintendo Direct. If you want to see more of that, you can watch it with me and see me go, oh my God, Mario Golf, crazy. And we got streams on twitch.tv/wolfden, where we're going to be playing Mario 3D World tonight with a bunch of friends. It's going to be great. And thank you Skillshare for sponsoring this video and sponsoring us pretty frequently so that I can live my life and not worry about the algorithm so much. And the most important thing that you can do to help support this channel is just subscribe to it so that you can get these new videos and share this video with a friend who has a Switch is maybe looking for a new game to play. Thank you very much. Have yourself a very good week. I love you.